This past week has been absolutely bananas regarding PlayStation news. Earlier this week, Jim Ryan came out and said that Days Gone, as well as a whole slate of other PlayStation exclusives, will go to PC. Now, I don't think PlayStation will do day and date with PC, but you never know. And the week started off with a bang. My previous video, I discussed that topic. I discussed, PlayStation games going to PC and how some of these PlayStation guys were crying about it. And I just said, look, man, you guys got to realize these games cost millions and millions of dollars. They have hundreds and hundreds of developers. They have to pay these people. These games have 4 or 5 year development cycles. I also put out an example of 1992 Super Mario World was developed by 8 people. 8 people. The Last of Us 2 was developed by hundreds of people. I'm just saying, we need to realize that Sony is trying to find another source of income to their games. When you have 120 some million consoles sold, and these great games, they only sell 12 to 15 million, you got to realize that, man. But, I talked about that already, so go to my previous video, which I will leave the link in the description. Now, like I said, this past week has been filled with gaming news. We had PlayStation State of Play. They came out there, they had their little show. It was about 30 minutes long. They didn't show anything new. They showed some Final Fantasy VII DLC, Final Fantasy PS5 upgrades, some other things. Kenna, Bridge of Spirits looked great to me. It wasn't the worst show, but it wasn't great either. I'll give it like a 5. State of Play is an inside Xbox are usually underwhelming. So it puzzles me when people always do live streams and be hyped for it and be saying dumb shit like they're gonna show God of War and all of that stuff. I'm assuming they're gonna show that stuff at their big shows, not their State of Plays. Just the same thing with Inside Xbox. People will live stream Inside Xbox and then they will watch, oh, this shit is trash. It's always been trash. Inside Xbox and State of Plays, they're always trash for the most part. There are some good things they will show occasionally, but both of those shows are usually trash. So yeah, they had that, and a lot of PlayStation guys were expecting Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War. I'm still hearing the Silent Hill rumor, and they showed none of that. But then we hear about Sony Japan studios pretty much going to shut down. Sony themselves haven't come out and said that yet, but we're seeing so much evidence. There's a lot of developers leaving the studio and they're on Twitter talking about it. So it seems like it will shut down soon. There was also a report that some of those games didn't make enough money, man. Those games didn't make enough money. So people need to realize Sony is a business. They're in it to make money. They don't care about our console war. They're in it to make money, and we must realize that. But there is so much news, man. Xbox guys have been talking a lot of shit this past week. I gotta give it to them, man. And as a guy that found this community in 2013, I've never seen this from the Xbox community. Actually, I put out a tweet that said, from someone that discovered this community in 2013, I haven't seen the Xbox community this aggressive on social media since never. And I absolutely love it. Like I mentioned, PlayStation had a rough week. Things like that happen, man. These people think that PlayStation is flawless. Some Xbox guys think Xbox is flawless. Some guys think Nintendo is flawless. These companies make mistakes. You don't agree with everything they do. But trust me, some of their decisions, most of their decisions, all of their decisions, now that I think about it, is for the better of their business. Some of it work, some of it might not work, but that's their goal, to make their business better. So for years, like I mentioned in my tweet, the Xbox community, we didn't say much. There was a few guys out there fighting the console war, but last generation, because Xbox was dominated by the PS4, we didn't have enough ammo. Our clip was empty. When we did get some ammo like the Xbox One X, they didn't have any games to show off the power of the Xbox One X. So our clip was empty again. And some of these PlayStation guys have been tormenting us for years. Now, this past week, man, there's so many Xbox guys in this community that I have never seen before. They're coming out of the woodwork. They're coming out and just taking it to some of these PlayStation guys. Some of these same PlayStation guys that bashed and trolled and talked shit for years to Xbox fans. And it's funny because now some of these PlayStation guys, they're hiding. They're blocking people. They're still talking shit, but they're blocking people. Wow. Wow, this is a prime example of you can dish it out, but you sure can't take it. It's pretty funny to me, like, man, Xbox guys are finally fighting back and you guys are like, nah, I'm gonna block them. I'm gonna still talk shit, but I'm gonna block them. It's crazy how that works, right? So I thought that was extremely funny this week. That was just crazy to me to see how the Xbox guys are more aggressive. And this is going to be a fun generation, man. I said back in 2018 that Xbox is going to be much better. You can go look at some old videos of mine if you don't believe me. I said it several times. Xbox is going to be much better this generation. How could you not see that after them acquiring all of these studios, doing all of the things that they have done? And I said all that shit before the Bethesda and all of that, man. This is going to be a fun generation because PlayStation is doing pretty well. I mean, they did some things this week that some PlayStation fans don't like, but I think that will make their business better. Xbox is doing some great things. This is going to be a great generation. No doubt about it. Xbox is definitely going to be competition this generation, while last generation they wasn't the best. It wasn't the best generation for Xbox, the Xbox One generation. Only a fool would say it was a fantastic generation when it wasn't, you know. But, you know, that's all I want to talk about, man. There was so much to talk about. I couldn't do one video on each topic. I didn't want to do a podcast by myself. I just wanted to do a video discussing these topics. But it's about time for me to go ahead and get out of here. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you happen to stumble upon my channel, you think I'm decent enough, why don't you subscribe? And if you subscribe, hit that notification bell to know what my black ass is doing for new content, baby. All right, everybody. Peace and love. Peace and love. Shit. Damn, man.